Hi class, in this video I'm going to review with you reproduction in angiosperms. Remember, angiosperms are flowering plants. The assessment statements covered here are 931 through 936. The first assessment statement says, draw and label a diagram showing the structure of a dicotyledonous animal pollinated flower. So we're going to try to draw this thing. So in the center of a flower is going to be the female part of the plant. And that's called the carpel. And the carpel has three parts. It has the stigma, the style, and the ovary. And inside the ovary is the ovule. And then surrounding it are the male parts of the plant. And I'll draw 4 of those. And that is called the stamen. And the stamen has 2 parts. It has the head, which is called the anther, and the stalk, which is called the filament, and that's the stamen, and this is called the carpel. You'll see it also called pistil. And then surrounding the male and female parts of the plant are the petals, and around those are the sepals. And then at the base is the receptacle. So you have to be able to draw something like this on request. And this image here on the left shows you a diagram of what we just drew. The next assessment statement says, distinguish between pollination, fertilization, and seed dispersal. So this first set of images just talks about pollination. So there's 2 types of pollination, there's self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination is represented by this red arrow on the image here on the left, where the pollen from the stamen lands on the pistil from the carpel on the same flower, or on a flower from the same plant. And cross-pollination is this image on the right. Cross-pollination is the movement of the pollen from one plant to another plant. In this case, it's shown that it's happening via a bee that is feeding on 2 different flowers. So seed dispersal is the last part of that assessment statement. Remember, seed, it contains embryos. So this image here on the right shows how seeds can be dispersed. Some plants explode and send their seeds flying through the air. The wind can carry them. In other plants, the seeds can drop to the ground and animals can pick them up and carry them around. In some cases, the seeds hook onto plants because of special characteristics on the outside of the seeds. In many cases, the seeds are eaten by animals and dropped in their fecal matter. And with other seeds, the seeds can float, like down a river, to another location. And with fertilization, it's the combination of the male and the female sex cells to form a diploid zygote. The general process is shown here that you don't really need to know the specifics. The pollen grain sits on the stigma. A pollen tube forms which carries the pollen, which carries the sperm that come out of the pollen down through a tube and into the ovule where the egg is present inside the ovary. The Nexus System says, draw and label a diagram showing the external and internal structures of a dicotyledonous seed. So we're only going to draw the one half of this. Okay. So that's the cross section of a seed, and there is the embryo root. Is the embryo shoot. There's the cotyledon, which is the food store. There's the testa or seed coat. And there's the micropyle, which is the hole through which the water can enter. And you can see through the image on the right this in diagram form. The Nexus System statement says, explain the conditions needed for the germination of a typical seed. So there's really three major conditions here. There's water for the rehydration of the seed tissue. During formation of the seed, water is removed. There's oxygen so that respiration can occur, and there needs to be an appropriate temperature so that the enzymes are at maximum activity. The Nexus System statement says, outline the metabolic process during germination of a starchy seed. So as you can see here, when water is absorbed through the micropyle, a plant hormone called gibberellin, or short form for gibberellic acid, GA, is released, and that it triggers the production of amylase, which is an enzyme that breaks down starch into maltose. The maltose gets converted into glucose, which can be used in cellular respiration, or it can be used to produce cellulose, which is found in the cell walls of the new cells that are about to be generated. Last system statement says, explain how flowering is controlled in long day and short day plants, including the role of phytochrome. So as you know, light plays a critical role in the life of a plant. There are some plants, as you can see here in the image on the right, that are long day plants. They thrive in conditions in which the day is longer than the night. In other cases, you have plants that are flowering best when the days are shorter than the nights. Even though they're called long day and short day plants, it's the length of the night that controls the flowering of the plants in long day and short day types. And this is important because the plants need to flower when pollinators are present. And this control of flowering by light is done through phytochrome, which is a blue-green pigment. This image here on the left shows you how phytochrome, the inactive form PR, absorbs light during the day, red light at 660 nanometers, and gets converted into the active form PFR, and it does this rapidly. At night, the far red light is absorbed at 730 nanometers, and that happens more slowly. It is the rate at which the active is converted to inactive at night that measures how much nighttime there is, and when it's appropriate to the plant, it will flower. So in long day plants, it's the remainder of the PFR that's left on a short night that triggers a plant to flower. On the other hand, in short day plants, the PFR acts as an inhibitor of flowering. So when enough PFR has been converted to PR, then flowering is stimulated. So PFR in long day plants is acting like a stimulant of flowering, where the PFR is acting as an inhibitor, if there's any of it left, in short day plants. And remember, it's the night that's being measured here. So in long day, it actually is referring to short night, and in short day, it's referring to long night. If you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, thanks. Take care.